Power Warriors, what's moving and shaking? Mr. Bud here. We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you a special live emergency broadcast about supply chain. Woohoo! So, how's everybody doing? Hope you're having a great day. Wanted to cut a video to provide information as I know it, as it's coming off the lines, and give you guys the best guidance that you possibly can. So, here's what's going on. Every time we've had our spider sense that some shit's about to go down, usually does. This time, I'm hoping it's going to be better. But storage is a mess right now. The storage market in general is a freaking mess. If you know anything about what's been going on in energy storage, Tesla has been sold out all year. Every single, by the way, you guys remember if you were around a year ago, we were supposed to get Teslas in like end of Q3, end of Q4, or beginning of Q4 last year, and then just gone. They said, oh, check back in 6 months, 12 months, continue to miss product shipment delays, delivery delays, the whole nine. LG Chem was supposed to have batteries in May. They're supposed to launch their new LG Chem, never came. Then they tell CED, our distributor, all right, LG Chem's going to have batteries in, Q3, never happens. They're supposed to get a shipment in Q4. Now that's delayed. There's no date on when LG Chems are coming back in. So let's put this all together real quick. The two largest battery manufacturers, Tesla and LG Chem, have had freaking zero for all of 2021, and nobody knows when they're really going to be coming back. All of us, Powur, we were really first to launch Encharge, became the biggest Encharge installer in the nation. And now what's happening, ladies and gentlemen, is there's nowhere else to go. So all of the installers that were selling LG or Tesla Powerwalls who had inventory, who had stored inventory, have no product. So they're all going to Enphase or they're going to Generac, and it's putting this massive supply chain pressure on now the only two battery manufacturers that have product. So bottom line is I want to give you guys guidance on, what we're discussing with the Enphase management team, as well as, our take on the macro picture of storage in general and your Q4, what is going to happen in your Q4 on the projects you're selling. So there's no question that if you want to take no chance of having your projects delayed in Q4, you should be selling solar only. That's what you should be selling. There is a chance that if you sell solar plus storage, there is going to be some kind of Q4 delay. That's just the reality right now. We have a guaranteed shipment coming in from Enphase to fulfill a big chunk of what's been sold. Not all of it. Then we have another shipment coming in November. And we are working with and refining with the Enphase management team right now exactly all of their shipment dates and what they're going to be able to deliver to us. I've had the commitments from their team, from the highest level of their Enphase team, and their integrity and what they promised. And they said, look, Powur is one of our number one priorities, if not our priority, in terms of solar partners with this product in the nation. We're going to have probably the biggest slice of the pie that you can really have, with all things said and being done today. And there's going to be some commitments that they make to us because they are doubling manufacturing capacity for storage. This is not an issue, by the way, that we see going away. I'll talk more about that macro picture in a second. But I trust Enphase and I believe in Enphase. And Enphase is telling us, we're going to have you guys product. We're going to dedicate X amount of product to you. I'm going to get that information over the next 7 to 14 days. And we're going to be publishing some kind of product strategy. We might not be able to sell as many Encharges as we want, right? There might not be everybody's wishes in the world, but we're going to have some kind of dedicated allotment, and we're going to manage it on the proposal. And when it's sold, and that is what it is. And that just is what it is. Like, this has been the supply chain bag of shit year. So we want to avoid those kinds of issues from happening to you. So we're going to get ahead of this, and we're going to take more proactive sort of management than we would in the past. So my guidance as of right now today, because I don't have those numbers, we don't have those numbers yet from Enphase, and we know what kind of supply shortages are happening industry-wide, and we know the kind of pressure that's now being put on the only manufacturers that have any supply whatsoever. My guidance to you is really that if you want projects installed in Q4 and you want to take no risk of delays, you should be limiting or not selling energy storage with those projects. That's my guidance, okay? And as soon as we have, information we can publish, we will publish it. Let's talk about the macro picture. Guys, you've heard me complain about energy storage before, and this is just so much more fuel to the fire for my current outlook on storage. I'm not a big fan, and I'm not seeing a 6 to 12 month kind of like path forward that has me being any more of a fan. Nobody knows when product is going to start shipping again from all of these manufacturers. So, at this point, you can easily say that the next 6 months is just like a colossal question mark, and it could be longer. And then you look at the overall big picture, all the raw materials of storage are being sucked into EVs. EVs are exploding. The demand for EVs is exploding, and EVs are a massively profitable, big, colossal sized market compared to residential energy storage. So where do you think you're going to prioritize if there's a limited amount of material and a limited amount of supplies? Where are you going to prioritize? You're probably not going to prioritize the little pipsqueak over here when the big, giant behemoth that's consuming resources over here is saying, give me as much as you can possibly give me. I don't see this trend going away. Do you? So, I'm open to being totally proven wrong within the next 6 months, but there's a good chance that we could be in some kind of supply shortage on energy storage for the short to midterm foreseeable future until there is a macro change in the supply chain. And there's just way more raw availability of the resources required to make these batteries. And frankly, the residential energy storage market gets bigger and matures more and becomes more of a value proposition to customers to where everybody's saying, I need to do this. And it's not such kind of like a niche little value prop, which in a way it kind of is today. It's not like a necessity for a lot of people. There's other ways around it. So that's my concern. I think that residential energy storage looks fairly weak at the moment. And it's not just the lack of supply. It's not just, I think, a fairly minimal, if any, customer value proposition, unless there's a real strong reason they need storage, i.e. major blackouts are happening very frequently, and you've got a business to run or medicine or other such things or whatnot, and you've got, a generator wouldn't do it. So you got a lack of supply. You have a fairly not the greatest customer value proposition. You have complicated engineering processes and cycle times. It adds complexity to everything, which makes the very profitable solar sale now at risk because you're taking all this time to do all this work and all this extra time, more ways can go wrong. In general, you start putting all these things together, and yes, you guys are making decent money. Consultants are making money. Maybe Enphase is making money. I damn well know Powur's not making a lot of money on energy storage. I don't think distributors are. So it's a very tight margin product. You put all these things together, and again, I am bare in the short to medium term on energy storage. And if it's me, I only sell energy storage if I absolutely have to. If the customer is simply demanding it, and there's no other way to get that sale unless you have storage, I'm selling it. That is the antithesis of a lot of other companies' strategies in the market. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they're totally right. And they're trying to optimize attachment rates and maximize how much storage is being sold with every job. Believe me, I'd love to get there one day. I don't have the confidence to say right now that that's a good strategy. And certainly over the next 6 months, when we are absolutely facing a supply constraint, I think that's a horrible strategy. And I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it for Powur. I don't want you really doing it. I don't want us as a company doing it. My take is that we should be selling storage if we have to. And we know there's a lot of customers that do want it and need it, especially in California and in areas where there's big blackouts and other things. But we should be downplaying it elsewhere. And if we don't need to sell it, de-risking our pipeline and de-risking our projects, at least for the next few months, until we have a clear commitment from the manufacturers about how much storage they can deliver to us. And I'll just go on record saying, for whoever's watching this video too, as soon as we get commitments that we can rely on, I would love to build the most sophisticated solar sales process around storage. And believe you me, consultants, we need to get better. This is a way more complicated product than we've approached it to date. And a big part of why I've not been that impressed with solar or storage on our platform is because what's being sold is oftentimes has nothing to do with reality and what's actually going to work. So there needs to be so much more of a merger of what reality is, the engineering behind storage projects, and what's being sold, right? So we've got to make major investments in closing that gap so you are all better and we are all better at selling real, accurate storage jobs. Then we can make major investments in developing sophisticated engineering teams that nail these storage projects and great installers that are super well trained and have lots of experience with specific systems and specific storage units. I cannot wait to make those investments in the entire chain. But for Christ's sakes, I need some evidence and data that it's going to be worth it to make those investments. So give me the data, right? Let me know that we've got ample supply, good prices, great customer value proposition, and then we, the Powur community, can't wait to level up our game and get way more sophisticated at how we sell storage and install it. So that's the future. I'm bought into that if and when we can get there. But again, I want to reiterate the message today. There are serious concerns about supply in Q4. We are awaiting numbers as to exactly what we're going to be able to expect on a month-over-month, quarter-over-quarter basis. If you want to take no chances of your projects being delayed in Q4, you should try not to sell storage right now. And number 4, we will update you as soon as we have the available information about how much storage is available to us, and we will modulate the proposal so that, again, we can avoid any supply chain issues which have been just absolutely plaguing the industry this year. So that's the update. I hope this was helpful to everybody. I hope you see that we're really trying to be super forthcoming with all of you. We want to give you the information in advance. We want you to make intelligent decisions. We want to share the macro picture with you. We want to share the micro picture with you. We're all in this together as a team. We're monitoring the situation very carefully, and I will continue to update everyone. But the bottom line right now is that there is literally no freaking product in the industry, and all installers are swarming on the handful of manufacturers that have product, and we foresee challenges with that scenario. So in any case, we're heading into the second half of the month. This is the time to be great. I have never been more excited about the freaking solar value proposition. We should be selling as much solar as humanly possible. That's where people are saving tons of money. That's where people are adding tons of value to their home. That's where people are absolutely changing the world with getting off of carbon-based energy immediately and getting it from the sun. And there is no shortage of panels. We are well stocked and ready to crush it. So this is game time for you to double down on closing out your Q3, making sure you have an epic pipeline heading into Q4. We have the biggest solar installation quarter in company history, And Powur consultants are making the most money they've ever made, leaving the legacy that they've always wanted to leave, having a real impact, changing the world and changing your life at the same freaking time. Nothing is stopping us from doing that. So I'm going to get out of your face and let you get back to making magic happen, and I will see you all at the top.